Top 10 NFL tight ends, 10-6. Dennis Pitta, age 32. Eric Ebron, age 24. Martellus Bennett, age 30. Cameron Brott, age 26. Gary Barnidge, age 31. Kobe Fleener, age 28. Number 10, Kyle Rudolph, age 27. So, Kyle Rudolph is, let's just say, I'm just telling you right now, is an exceptional athlete and had his best year by far this year. So he was definitely leaning it on, he was definitely a target. AP was out pretty much with injury. Hopefully he can recover. He's now a Saint, so I expect Kyle Rudolph to still have the same productivity. If AP was still in town, I could say maybe his numbers would drop. But because of that, his whole value is definitely going to go up for the team, for fantasy, for everything that he needs in his career, which is a good sign. It's great to see because Kyle Rudolph deserves kind of that recognition. I think people definitely have underlooked him a lot, but I believe he's a very valuable type asset to this team. And at 27, he's still young. He's still got a lot to prove, and he's still able to just dominate. I want to see him dominate because he is a really good tight end. Now, number 10. Big reason he's number 10 is I think it's a good number to be at for a guy that hasn't really put up these kinds of numbers yet. I mean, this is his first year having these sorts of numbers that we'll get into pretty soon. But he hasn't really had these kind of seasons. It's always been kind of average and okay season, but not like incredible numbers. Not like something that it's eye-popping. This one was eye-popping. This one, like, he really did just become a star for the Vikings, and it showed. But yeah, no, Rudolph needs to stay at number 10 right now until next year's assessment, when I can possibly notice that, hey, maybe this man is willing and he just has that kind of oomph to him to be a lot higher. But let's first take a look at his numbers. 16 games he played and started. He had 83 receptions for 840 receiving yards, average reception of 10.1. He had 7 receiving touchdowns. 44 was his longest, an average game of 52.5 yards, and no fumbles during the regular season. So very good. Postseason wasn't in it this year, unfortunately. But what did he earn? Nothing. No Pro Bowl. I feel like he kind of got a little snubbed. I feel like he should have been at least tried. I mean, I think he should have been a Pro Bowler, in my honest opinion. He hasn't been a Pro Bowler since 2012. But I think he should be a Pro Bowler, in my honest opinion. So he did get kind of robbed on there. But I think it just shows that he's just going to have to work a lot harder and prove to everyone that, yeah, he's one of the elite tight ends, and he is. He just needs to have another big year like that or similar to it, and just provide some value to Minnesota. But yeah, no, Kyle Rudolph, I enjoy him a lot. Deserves to be on this list. He's going to start at number 10, though. Number 9, Jason Witten, age 35. Jason Witten, there's an article about him that says if he gets to the Hall of Fame. There is no if. He will be a Hall of Famer, that's for sure. Some tight end that gets 1,000+ receptions, over 11,000+ receiving yards, over 60 receiving touchdowns, and has been just a value through his team, ins and outs of it, through the thick and thin, has been so loyal, has been such a great guy, has been consistent with his numbers. Yes, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Multiple Pro Bowler, making first team All Pros, getting these kinds of just top 10 kind of, in tight end wise, like in receptions and all that in his position. Like, yes, he is a Hall of Famer. So let's stop saying if, because it will happen. Now, before I move on, I always do this every single video for some reason. Forgot Kyle Rudolph's contract. Kyle Rudolph's contract is 3 years. 3 years, $21.9 million. So we'll see what he does with that. I think, like I said, he'll continue to improve. I would like to see that. He's an exciting tight end to watch, so I want to see that. Now, Witten, on the other hand, 4 years, $29.6 million. So he wants to retire a Cowboy. He's going to go in as Dallas, obviously. When he gets to the Hall of Fame, he'll definitely go in as Dallas because that's exactly where he wants to go. And it looks like that will probably be his final contract. Just from what I can see, Jason Witten's numbers has dropped down a bit. So I can see him playing 4 more years or maybe 3 years. In that 1 year, he just says, I'll just retire. They save up some space to maybe sign or sign a rookie or sign some sort of pretty good role player or something. Yeah, Witten's going to be retiring. That's just definitely his last contract. I just noticed. I just can feel it. I don't think there would be a tight end that goes over 40, but who knows. So anyway, with Jason Witten now. He's number 9. He's better than Rudolph because he's had a consistency for years. He's been playing in the NFL for, 15-odd years around there? Something like that. Veteran, experience. He's able to just really have a great effect on the game, on his team. He's a great leader, He's a guy that people will follow, honestly. The only thing is his numbers are dropping. Like I said, 16 games. He was playing, he's had numbers a lot better than he has previous. So that's why I'm saying his numbers are kind of dropping. That's why he's number 9. But other than that, he's still productive. He's still able to change the game. And I feel like he'll still have that, what his regular is now, which is in the 60s of receptions. Anyway, let's take a look, which isn't too bad. It's just not as great as the other tight ends that are a little younger, or if you have a freak of nature in Antonio Gates that just seems to honestly still kind of put on that, those type of numbers that you're like, whoa, he did that and only started in these amount of games. So that'll be go more down on the road. But Jason Witten now, 16 games he played and started. He had 69 receptions for 673 receiving yards, average reception of 9.8. He had 3 receiving touchdowns. Longest was 35. His average game 42.1, and he had a fumble. Okay. In the playoffs, at 1 game, he had 6 receptions for 59 yards and a touchdown. Average reception of 9.8. Longest one that he got was 15, and no fumbles. So very good on that. The fumble he had in the regular season, no fumble recoveries for him. And that's about it in terms of regular season stats and all that. Hasn't been in the Pro Bowl since 2014. Hasn't been a first-team All-Pro since 2010. Still think he's one of the top tight ends, and he is actually one of the top 5 best tight ends of all time. So that's not a question. Just a great player, and I want to see another healthy Jason Witten season. He's very durable, so I expect him to get another 60, 70 receptions. Solid numbers for a future Hall of Famer. Number 8, Delanie Walker, age 32. Delanie Walker is at a great spot in his career right now where, honestly, since 2011, getting the tools to finally be that tight end, that focal point guy, and it's paid off at Tennessee. Honestly, let's say he has an incredible career from here on out, and he retires and he gets over 900 receptions or something. We can possibly see him in Canton. He'll probably go in as a Tennessee Titan, not a 49er, because I feel like as a Titan he has been so productive. Obviously, we have to look at what he does from here on out, if he decides to stay in Tennessee or not. I think he should. DeMarco's there. Mariota's young. He's going to get even better. They got some wideouts. They got a great line. They're starting to kind of develop. I think this could be a really good playoff team, and I think this could be a team that can threaten for the Super Bowl, to be quite honest, in the future. He made his mark. I feel like he started making his mark in 2014 when we're like, all right, well, he had a 60 reception year in 2013, but can he repeat it? Yeah, he did, and then he got even better and even better. And the thing that I really enjoy about Delanie Walker is that he didn't start all 16 games. He didn't play all 16 games. And he still got a remarkable amount of receptions and a remarkable amount of just impact on the team. And I think if we can get a Delanie Walker healthy, like all 16 games, I feel like he's a guy that could definitely come up with like 100 receptions as a tight end. To be quite honest, he's that kind of guy. Is he going to get that much? It all depends on what happens with the connections of the receivers and Mariota or whatever. But he has the potential of getting 100-plus receptions as a tight end because he's just that skillful, very athletic guy. I really enjoy watching him. And, you know, I thought he was just going to be just that low-key role player, tight end, fullback kind of guy in San Fran. Thank goodness that I didn't just think of him as that. I was like, I hope he goes to a different team. He shows us something else. 29, he goes to Tennessee, kind of late bloomer, right? And boom. His career took off with Tennessee. So I'm really happy to see him there. He's number 8 because he's younger than Witten. He's got more potential than Witten because Witten is starting to slow down. Delanie Walker is just going to start speeding it back up still. He's still got some legs in him. Definitely better than Rudolph because he's been more consistent than Rudolph. He's had more numbers than Rudolph and stuff. But number 8, he's stuck there right now, not higher because of his whole late bloomness kind of a thing, and the health kind of issue there. It's kind of a problem. But I think if he can stay healthy, I think he can just be a little higher. I feel like he would be a little higher to make in. You never know, could be cracking a top 5. You never know. Now, Delanie Walker's got 2 years, $13.37 million left in his contract. We will definitely see how that goes. We'll see if he gets paid more. We'll see if he stays in Tennessee. We don't know. I think he should, but we'll see. Anyway, great tight end right now. 15 games played, 10 started. He had 65 receptions for 800 receiving yards. 12.3 was his average per reception. 7 receiving touchdowns. 47 was his long. He had an average game of 53.3. Also 2 rushes for 11 yards. Longest run was 8. And, 1 fumble during the regular season. No playoffs. Unfortunately, hasn't been in the playoffs since he was with the 49ers. So that's kind of unfortunate. The fumble, he did get a fumble recovery with it, so technically not really losing much on there. So that's pretty good. And yeah, overall, Pro Bowler. And just going to keep climbing on the list. I just want to see him more healthy, and he'll be fine, honestly. And Delanie Walker, number 8 on this list. Number 7, Jimmy Graham, age 30. So Jimmy Graham on this list, the guy that used to be top 5, definitely has decreased down due to numbers, really. You know, he really hasn't been the same. With Drew Brees, he had more, he just had more targets with him. With Seattle, he's more of a injury kind of guy. But all in all, I think he's a very great athlete, very good athlete, just a little bit terrible at blocking for a tight end. That's not great. But, like I said, he's been kind of a disappointment in Seattle. But he deserves to be on this list for sure. He just has been pretty disappointed. It's been a pretty big disappointment to see him in Seattle. Thought him here would really prove to be just great with Russell Wilson, but Doug Baldwin's been pretty much the guy. So he's been kind of lacking on that department. But so far, this year, 16 games played, 15 games started. He had 65 receptions for 923 receiving yards, 14.2 per reception, 6 receiving touchdowns, 42 was his long. He had an average gain of 57.7 and 2 fumbles. In the playoffs, for the 2 games, he had 6 receptions, 59 yards, 9.8 per reception, then 1 touchdown, and 29.5 yards a game, pretty much in those playoffs. So, again, not great as well. And the 2 fumbles he had, no recoveries there. Pro Bowler this year, which is very good to see. But at the same time, he can definitely improve. He can be a lot better. Definitely a lot better than the last year, the first year he was in Seattle. But Jimmy Graham, I think Jimmy Graham will prove to be a little bit more valuable this year. I hope so. And like I said, we'll see what happens. But right now he's number 7. He just needs to improve more, honestly. And he doesn't have much time in Seattle, actually. Actually, his contract as of right now is I believe it is. Yeah, it's 1 year, $10 million. So he'll either be in Seattle or not. Either or. Either or. We'll see. I just like to see his improvement for him to be back in top 5. So, but we'll see. Number 7. Number 6, Zach Ertz, age 26. So this is a guy that I've been cheering on for many years since he came to the league, all the way back in 2013. It's been a guy that I've been wanting to see succeed and become just great, because at Stanford he was great. Um, with that Andrew Luck kind of era there, but he was already always just great to see, fun to watch guy, and he's been improving year by year by year, and that's kind of why I'm super excited to rank him at number 6, because he's definitely better than Jimmy Graham right now. He has been better than Witten, because he's younger and he's got more potential there. And then you look at guys, Delaney Walker, and all those guys. He's just a lot better, a lot more developed, and he's going to keep developing into a great football player and a great tight end in the league. And it's great to see an Eagle up here in this list. But anyway, so Zach Ertz has a contract of, as of right now, 5 years, $42.5 million. $42.5 million well spent, I believe. I think he will continue to improve, and just, like I said, Carson Wentz and him, that's going to be a pretty good connection. Now, let's take a look at 2016. First of all, this was like his first pretty much year where he almost played every single game. Again, he's number 6, also because of his injury prone. He hasn't played many games starting wise, so I would like to see him get more games in. But we'll definitely see how it goes. You're looking at 14 games played. He started 12. He had 78 receptions for 816 yards. 10.5 was his average yard per reception. He also had 4 touchdowns, the 30 longest reception there, and a 58.3 yards per game with no fumbles at all. So that's very good. No playoffs since 2013. Kick returns, he actually had 1 return for 8 yards. If that helps at all. But overall, no Pro Bowl, nothing. I feel like he got snubbed on there, honestly. But I think he's going to be one of those guys that are just very key to this Eagles offense if they want to succeed. And he's going to be top 5 very soon if he continues the way he's going. I really enjoy watching Zach Ertz, and I wish him nothing but the best this year, and I'm excited to watch him play this year. So.